This video is to help when diagnosing some of the failure modes you can encounter when using the Scully IntelliCheck3 Overfill 8 monitor. The most common problem, as showcased here, is a blinking red compartment LED. Compartment 2 is showing a fault. When encountering an issue, the best approach is to try and separate components involved. In the following case, we'll try to determine if the monitor is at fault or the sensor and wiring is faulty. To quickly determine this, remove the faulty sensor wire and insert it into a working compartment. So we'll swap the compartment number 1 and number 2 wires. If the compartment number 2 LED still flashes, the monitor is faulty and should be replaced. If the number 1 LED now flashes, the problem lies in the sensor or wiring. On the top of the tanker, we'll again try to separate components using a known good sensor. Disconnect the potentially faulty sensors and connect the good one. If this fixes the problem, then replace the sensor. If the problem still exists, an inspection of all the wire connections in compartments 2, 3, and 4 for the number 2 sensor is necessary. Keep in mind that any one of the harness segments could have a broken wire. A continuity check from end to end could expose this broken wire. Another common fault is when all compartment LEDs are flashing. If this fault is displayed, use a known good sensor if available, and wire it directly to a compartment on TB4. White to ground, black to a compartment number. In this case, compartment number 1. If the number 1 compartment changes to a permissive state, there is most likely a problem in the wiring harness. Inspect all sensor connections in each sensor holder on top of the tank. If compartment number 1 does not change state and continues to show faults, it is recommended to reprogram the IntelliCheck3 to see if this fixes the issue. If it does not, the module is at fault and should be replaced. There are 3 other possible issues that can be encountered with the IntelliCheck3 unit. Power LED shows solid or blinking red. Troubleshoot by measuring the incoming DC voltage at TB1 with a multimeter. The optimal operating voltage is 11 through 13 VDC. If the voltage falls within this range and the power LED is red, the module is faulty and should be replaced. Auxiliary LED is red. The IntelliCheck3 comes from the factory with a jumper wire across the auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 connections at TB3 as shown. To troubleshoot, verify the jumper from the factory is installed. If it is not, adding a wired jumper to auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 may solve the problem. If the auxiliary LED is still red, the module is faulty and should be replaced. The auxiliary feature can be used as an additional measure to ensure a safe loading operation. An example of this would be a switch attached to the vapor hose connection. If the factory jumper has been removed and there are 2 wires in its place, trace the wires and troubleshoot the device for functionality. DynaCheck LED is red. If the DynaCheck LED is red, the module is faulty and should be replaced.